This is an audio sample of The Road to Emancipation by Dr. Deborah Bartlett from the Courageous Overcomers Anthology. Living a public life as a private person has its own set of challenges, especially when you sit where I sat for many years. My career began some years ago as a news reporter in the Bahamas. I became a news anchor and television program host for Reaction and Woman, hosting big and small names both nationally and internationally at ZNS-TV for 20 years. As a young reporter, my job took me in front of country heads such as Sir Lyndon Pindling, the first Prime Minister of the Bahamas, and subsequent Prime Ministers in the person of the Right Honourable Hubert Alexander Ingram, and the Right Honourable Perry Gladstone Christie. I also interviewed the former President of South Africa, the late Nelson Mandela, and the Chairman of Heinz, Dr. Tony O'Reilly. It would be easy to become prideful at this point, but even if I leaned towards that road, I had parents, especially a mother, the late Deborah Bartlett, who would yank me back in line, and my father Frank Bartlett, also deceased, whose quiet but firm strength played a role in keeping me grounded. No, it was a case of my gift making room for me. It was also a case of putting into practice the art of finding solutions to problems. That may sound glamorous, but it wasn't. In fact, many days I wanted to throw in the towel, especially when things got challenging and uncomfortable. Nevertheless, as a journalist with a BA in communications, I showed up at my job prepared to work. People who saw me day in and day out on television think they know you. They believe that what they see is the total of who you are. They didn't know the preparation and investment, the long days and sleepless nights. They didn't see the island hopping on small planes and encountering dangerous weather as we flew the length and breadth of the country. What they knew and appreciated was my professional persona as a journalist. I was grateful for that. In my early days, I worked hard, and yes, I partied just as hard. Partying drew many friends and acquaintances, but I realized that instead of empowering me, these associations were draining my creativity, strength, and ability to pursue the innate gifting that had to be nurtured by people who had my back and had achieved so much more than I had. Some would call it wisdom, others sobriety, I called it destiny. I came to faith in Christ, which set me on an even more intense trajectory. It wasn't just a journey of skill and accomplishments I was on, now, it was one of character development at an even higher level in my pursuit of purpose. In striving for higher heights, I began to soar professionally. However, the higher I climbed, I found the altitude pruning relationships that were not headed in the same direction. It also caused discomfort with others who could not handle the incremental success even though it made them look good. Such was the case with one of my superiors, a senior manager. No matter what I did, it was not good enough. The verbal assaults launched at me so fiercely that I decided to approach the individual, apologizing for whatever I had done to offend her. I wanted to make it right. Initially, it caused some discomfort, but I kept going. If I were to succeed in life, I knew it wouldn't be because of popularity but my commitment to hard work. My good intention was met with fierce anger as I was booted from the office. Nevertheless, I continued to do my job to the best of my ability. Sometime later, the senior manager became ill. Though she had not been kind to me, I was heartbroken to know she was suffering. I prayed for her. Before she died, she called for me, asking me to come and visit her. As soon as I walked into the room, she told me that I had done nothing wrong. She apologized for her attitude towards me and asked me to forgive her. It was important for her to make things right with me before she met her maker. Before I left, she asked me to pray for her, and I did. I was never one to hold a grudge toward anyone or burn bridges. Had I hardened my heart towards her or burned the bridge of communication, it would have made it difficult to have the conversation we had. It was a lesson I learned early, and one I still practice today along with keeping a tight lip. That way those who hang around for morsels to repeat will not be able to misrepresent what you say. I knew I had already forgiven her and accepted her apology, so there was no discomfort to deal with. This has been an audio sample from Courageous Overcomers Anthology. For more information on how you can secure your copy of this book, contact Dr. Deborah Bartlett at deborahbartlett2006@gmail.com or visit booksbybethel.com/ Courageous Overcomers.